At thinking schools, teachers are intentional about developing students' higher-order thinking abilities, reflective metacognitive dispositions, and processes for inquiry.
What we want to do is focus on the thinking development, and this means also dispositions. So one's dispositions around thinking are habits of mind, inquiry skills, cognitive or thinking skills. Those mesh together all the way through, and that can be developed and started at any point. You know, in the Common Core, it's about higher order thinking. PISA, internationally, it's about problem solving and higher order thinking. Colleges and universities are saying, we have students coming in, they really can't think through problems. We have to sort of almost start over.
Using the thinking tools makes me feel as if I'm really considering the different ways of thinking, and it's really opened my mind up to see so many different things that I wasn't aware of before. And so I think that's made me a better thinker.
I think one of the hardest things we do as human beings is to reflect on how we're thinking.
So the whole thinking skills process, which involves kids thinking about what's required, what steps do I need to do, how am I going to present it, and actually then present it in a form which is acceptable to examiners, the thinking skills provides that.
And just getting them to really reflect on their methods that they're using and if it really is the most efficient, so they're not flummoxed by a test that may come up or different expectations that arise and they don't stumble, but they've got a toolkit of methods ready to use. Be
precise, persevere, connect, and have empathy from one another. Really become more reflective and metacognitive. If they develop a language of dispositions, then they can articulate what they're doing and how they're doing it, and they can become more reflective. So if I'm a third grader and I know the word persistence, and I know the word clarity, and I know the word reflection, I'm developing a language of dispositions that I internalize and I can take with me the rest of my life. And that's really key.
The third is around questioning for inquiry, but in a more general way, about using good questions and helping teachers in particular to ask questions that really do help to encourage the children to think more effectively.
Would you like to have Handa as a friend? And if so, why? What would make Handa a really, really special friend to have?
It's how do you really develop the thinking, the problem solving, the decision making that also requires a mastery of some of that content.
My first thoughts when it came to it was, how am I going to approach this? What's going to be any possible problems and how am I going to overcome these? Especially with the time available and the amount of work to do. So it's just about getting around these problems and finding the best solutions.
They need to be able to think for themselves, they need to be able to work things through for themselves. They need to be independent, they need to know where to find information. And the thinking skill absolutely develops that sense of can-do for students.